Hello everyone, welcome to my Alliance War gameplay video. This is going to be a combination of the first two wars of this season. First time recording video like this before. First up, just got some Warlock versus Mr.Sinister. If you know the matchup, you know already. We're just going to power start one. We're just going to parry a bunch at the start. Get my hits in. I did that first heavy attack to check for willpower for one of my alliance mates later. They have a a fight where they need to check if willpower's on, because Warlock is understandably much better when willpower is on. But my fight, it's just gonna be a rinse. I'm just gonna SP2 twice, and that's gonna be all she wrote really here. Node 1 Sinister isn't really much of a problem for Warlock. It's pretty a textbook definition match, and that new Alliance War health potion change really gonna make a big difference in the way I'm gonna be playing this season. Gonna be more aggressive, gonna be use recoils every fight. Just gonna focus on full maximization without really worrying about my, oh man, I can't really do stuff like this. My stash is gonna really suffer. This next fight here, I got Punisher on Masochism. I was offered to do this fight with Beta Ray Bill. I really did not want to do it with Bill, simply because I could really get out of hand for him later. I just went with Warlock because he's really tanky. Even if I mess up or he gets like an straight intercept on me, nothing's really going to happen to me. And I'll be immune, and I'll be taking reduced crit damage as well because of Warlock's armor up. And Warlock's a very handy tanky champion. Rank 5, A1. I'm going to be punching down too. I can't really use the SP2 in this fight. Number one, because he's just going to endurance. The armor breaks away really fast. But also mainly because it's going to trigger masochism. I really don't want to deal with an unblockable Punisher the whole time. I'm not really the best at the full decks yet, so I'm just going to be mostly SP3ing number one because it's the only special I can do without triggering masochism, but also the degen and power burn will really help out. But I'm not really too worried about this fight. It's just going to be more of a slow and steady wins the race ordeal. Just going to be going for my intercepts off the wall as much as I can. I'm just going to punch him until he goes down. It's going to be really all she wrote for the matchup. It's not too in-depth, but hey, we got to get through it somehow. Not a mutant, so I have to deal with his indestructible phases like a normal human being. I'm just going to be tapping him. It's really not too hard. I accidentally parry there, and I suffer for it. But I have a lot more health than he does. It's really not too bad. It's a slow and steady matchup. We're about to deal with this last indestructible phase, and it's really not going to be too bad. Gonna tap block. It's a lot easier than him tapping my block. And I'm gonna relic into his block as well. And that is the matchup. Also have to make sure I'm not using like the Vision Relic on Warlock, because that would place a debuff. That would not be fun for masochism. Stuff like that, or the Ghost Rider Relic for nodes like this is important not to have on. Unless you're absolutely sure you can handle the node regardless. Next up, we're going to be having Karolina on node 26. I don't have a traditional Karolina counter for this fight, but it does not really matter. If you don't let Karolina sit in the sun, if you don't let her throw an SP1 or SP2 into you, it's really not too difficult. The main thing is you just want to be alternating your combos here, and you'll see why pretty shortly. You want to avoid giving the intensify buffs because that'll really make her power gain go out of control. If you already can't control it, it's going to be pretty annoying, but if it's even stronger than it already is, it's going to suck really bad, and you really don't want to be eating specials from her. She hits really hard. But with Dr. Bong, every time I power start one, SP1, so I can already start ramping crazy. I have Beta Ray Bill with me, so I get 25% more reverb damage, and my heavies go crazier than I normally would. I'm just going to be holding block, making sure she doesn't get to play the game. I see I'm close to SP2. Just going to combo SP2, and that's going to be all she wrote. Bong gets his fights down really fast if you just nothing's in your way to impede your loop. He's one of my new favorite champions, so I took him to rank 5 instantly. And also because he's really funny and he has a nice funny bell head. Next is when I open Spider-Woman. Spoiler alerts for this fight. I don't play very good. I was I was going between airports a lot while doing my war fights this first war, and I didn't really play very good. The strategy should be you push her to SP2, heavy punish the SP2s, and you'll be fine. I try to do the heavy punish there, but you can't do it off of her lights like that. I make the same mistake twice, and I eat a lot of damage for it. Because on this node, she gets a lot more attack rating due to having her buffs. What I should be doing is just holding block, comboing until she reaches SP2, and then punishing the SP2. You'll see that later in the video when I take a similar fight. But I really just don't do myself any favors here. I'm just letting her throw her SP1s, I'm just eating them. I go for this initial relic heavy to get some damage on, but really I should have baited that SP1 first so I could have squeezed like 2 heavies out of it. I'm just not really doing myself any favors here. Keep going for blind intercepts. Not really a great showing from me. And because this is one I open, I thought I would let my heavy proficiency fall off so that when I hit 9, I wouldn't stun her. So I purposely let the 3 reverb fall off so I could get to 6 off the SP2. But, you know, I'm just chunking myself down with recoils at this point. I'm just not playing the fight very well. And then, yeah, another SP1. Go for an intercept, and she intercepts me, and yeah. It's not my greatest showing. You know how it is when you're not able to duel for a fight. Just, it's not very good. And then I just go back in immediately for the cleanup because, like, oh, she's already low, and I have a flight in like half an hour. I have to just get this done. Decent damage from not using the heavy attack, but that'll be all she wrote for that fight. I really should have just. I should have dueled it. I should have played a lot better since I've done Spider-Woman on EMP mod so many times. I should know how to play a stun immune Spider-Woman at this point, but I really didn't do too well on this fight. But you know, we move on. I'm not gonna get too hung up over it. If you die, you die. Just try not to die too much in a season. Deaths happen, especially nowadays. It's not like it used to be. But for the next fight, I get to use my new favorite champion in War. I've been using him before he was tactic. I've been really liking the damage he's been doing, especially since I started using him with the recoils, since he has 50% poison and bleed resistance. And in my mastery setup, I run max coagulate as well, and I'm able to have, if I believe that's how the math works, 80% bleed resistance. I love net regenning from the suicide masteries. I love having the added damage, it just makes his bursts go crazy. Most path fights, you're just one-shotting. And the extra thing is the Beta Ray build Bong synergy. Normally, when you're unstoppable and you get hit, you don't really get much off it besides not taking damage. But with Bong, I have access to the SP1 Fury whenever you get hit when you're unstoppable, and it's a whole new level for this character. I'm gonna bait out this SP2 from Lizard. I'm gonna start getting some space, and I'm gonna start charging the heavy. And you're gonna see, boom, I get the Fury, and it's a very potent Fury. I don't get all my shocks, but that's okay, because I'm already close to another SP2, so I figure, I might as well get a little bit more shocks. The more shocks you have, the more your burst will do later. Lizard's trapped in the root. I just get my mediums in so I can make the shocks expire faster. I'm gonna bait out this special too, just to be safe. I'm gonna medium him to get some space. SP1. Go for a little 2 Fury burst, and he's dead. You don't even need the full ramp, he's just dead. And normally that was gonna be it for me this war, but someone else was on vacation this war. So I decided to pay for some Wi-Fi, little $12, and I just take on Photon on 46. I've done Photon a bunch with Dr. Bong. It's typically not that bad. Aspected evolution makes it more annoying spacing-wise. Well, you know, just parry the SP1s. That's really how you fight Photon if you can't, you know, use dodge to bypass her specials, or Black Tarantula comes out in like a week or so. Use that little skill check, parry the SB1. I have the panics. I can just parry heavy, get really good damage in. I know she turns off willpower, but I really like the damage boost from recoils anyway, so I just keep it on. Just gonna go for my parry heavies. Parry the SP1s, as you do. Gonna use the relic to build some space. Get a heavy in to build a little more. I see the health she's at, and I'm like, yeah, I can kill her. And we're getting so much combo Dr. Bong, so the tactic doesn't do anything to us. And yeah, that was a 120,000 heavy attack. She's just gone at that point. There's nothing Photon's going to do to us. And then we're on to War 2. War 1 was a little not the way I would have liked it to be, but I'm back home. I can just sit down normally. I could practice the way I normally could. And this war is a lot cleaner for me. I think I played mostly perfectly this war. There is one fight I volunteered myself for later. I don't think it's a good fight at all. I've done this champion a lot with Beta Ray Bill, but I thought I could take her on this specific node, and I really didn't do myself any favors. But you'll see that soon. Node 6 is a little bit of a trap node for these tactic champions. For anyone who can't instantly get their miss up, that's why with Dr. Bong, we have to PS1. If you don't, you're really never going to get power on this node unless you purposefully eat a ton of hits to reach your first bar of power, and that's not really safe. But you know, you PS1, you instantly deal with the tactic, and you're just off to the races. The lizard is going down really quickly. I just bait up that SP2 for safety's sake. I really don't have to. I could have just killed him, but you know, better safe than sorry. SP2, and that's all she wrote. I really love Dr. Bong with the recoil tree. He just takes fights so fast. And I love taking faster fights rather than slower fights. I know sometimes the slower ones are safer, but the quicker I'm out of a fight, the less I don't have to deal with it. I decided to rank 4 Maker for this war. I'm not very good with Solvarch. I've gotten cooked with Solvarch on this fight before. But I decided to just rank 4 Maker, because I always loved the guy. I even went for his pre-release, and did not get him. But Maker is a champion, which I learned recently. He does very well with the recoil tree. He's dealing 40k heavy attacks off the back. I'm like, oh, dang, his damage is going kind of crazy. And I'm going to take this fight really fast. Honestly, comparable, if not faster, than Solvarch on this node, which made me really happy. I'm like, oh, Maker's kind of cool. I don't know why I looked over this guy. I missed the heavy counter, but Maker's so safe. He has his counter evade. Unfazed by stupid ass mastery, but it's okay. We persevere. She walks into the mine like a good little felon. We're living, we're loving, we're laughing. I get ready to SB2, and the fight's gonna just end at this point. A little heavy just so it connects, and boom, 434,000. That's almost her entire health pool on this path fight. So yeah, I really loved Maker here. And we used the pre-fights for the rest of the war too. I really like this character. I could see myself rank 5ing him real soon. And we're going to get some more Beta Ray Bill fights here. Unfortunately, you'll see real soon what happens with this Rhino fight. Beta Ray Bill, amazing Rhino counter. On this note specifically, this is one of Beta Ray Bill's best notes. You are immune to power drain on Beta Ray Bill. So you will gain a bar of power instead of like getting drained a bar of power here. And it's really good for ramping fast. You'll see I'm going to get an SP2 instantly. I'm going to get the shocks on. It's going to be great. I'm already chilling. Fight's going to go great. I did 100k SP2 hit there. Beta Ray Bill's hitting so hard. And oh man, I'm just feeling good. Feeling good. I'm like, oh man, what do I do here? And then boom. If you're wondering what the cut was for, I got called 5 times by my mother. Went straight through my do not disturb. I ate shit. And I got pushed to SB3, but the SB3 almost killed from there. And I was like, oh damn. Even through all the physical resist, Beta Ray Bill's so good. But now, this is my personal redemption. Spider-Woman on EMP mod. It's easier than one I open, because she's not going to hit as hard. Technically, there's the risk of eating SB3s here, but in reality, the node here is just going to make it easier to push her to SB2. You'll see the play here, just going to push her to SB2. I don't need Odins for this fight. Bong has energy resistance built in innately, and also, I'm just going to end the fight before EMP mod is ever going to be a threat to me. Gonna just SB2. Already doing a lot of damage off the SB2, not even needing the heavies. And then this one less heavy, and the fight will be over. Yeah, over 120,000 heavy attack. Dr. Bong is just really cracked. He synergizes amazingly with the tactic. He's just a very good champion this season. Or practically any season. He handles most of the common science spots. Next fight, we're just going to be back at it with Beta Ray Bill. This matchup is going to be Beta Ray Bill versus Gentle on Node 37. The matchup has a little bit more nuance this season than there typically is because of the combo game this season. And Beta Ray Bill handles Gentle wonderfully. I've done Gentle many times with Beta Ray Bill. But here I can't be as willy-nilly with it because he's just going to gain Unstoppable constantly because of the enhanced combo game. So I'm going to more play this as parry heavy. You get the grit on the first hit. I use the Bong synergy to immediately get a Fury up. I'm already hitting hard. 34k, even though Gentle is so tanky. I'm waiting for Gentle to throw his SP1, but then I'm like, oh, well, he's in the root. I'm just not going to aggravate him in the root because I want to keep that extra shock. I don't know why I went for the heavy attack there, truthfully. But Gentle SP1s, which is good. It builds a lot of space for me. I parry heavy here to be safe and get the grit up. He hits into my SP2. We have our shocks rolling. We're doing amazingly. And one burst, and he should be gone. I build up a little bit more shocks as a little bit of extra insurance. Sometimes the Ascended Gentle doesn't die. But it's okay. We're prospering. I have my Fury buff. This fight's completely under control. Even if Gentle had like 5 regens on him right now, we would just execute him. I'm gonna get hit. Oh, nope, I don't get hit on purpose here, but he just dies anyway since he's so low. Typically, I like to get hit on purpose to get myself that 3rd Fury, just ramp really fast. That's the benefit of the Bonk synergy. You don't have to do 3 SV1s for your full damage. You can typically do everything in one cycle. This next fight is the one I told you all that I volunteered myself for. Yeah, it's going to be Ruby Thursday on Node 43. I've done Ruby Thursday a fair bit with Beta Ray Bill on Node 46, on Node 38. It's always been a good time for me, always been a good laugh. I just love using Beta Ray Bill, but I didn't do myself any favors here. Normally, I have a Wags pre-fight in order to stall her and to stall out the SP2 lock. Normally, I like to hit her block a bunch and stall her out. I didn't do that here. I really just kind of played it. I'm going to use the word willy-nilly again, but willy-nilly. I didn't do myself many favors here, but I try our best. I also can't power start 1 here, which is actually a big deal, because normally you want to get your SP2 off before she can throw her first SP1. If you can do that, the matchup is very easy. I didn't get to do that. There's also the Incinerate Hazard Shift, which if you hit into, it's not going to be very fun for you. I put the Energy Resistance stat focus on Bill to help out, which I think really made a difference, especially with how low I am this fight at. But typically with Beta Ray Bill, you want an SP2, SP1. I think I could have made a SP3 rotation play here. You get a really big resonance buff, which is what lets you do red damage on your basics. And Beta Ray Bill hits very hard with his Furies. So I feel like it could have made a really big difference, but I didn't do that. I felt like I couldn't do that, especially with how I was getting cornered. I throw a Relic here for some space, but these Incins, they're ticking, they're triggering. I SP1 to get myself out of the corner. The burst does some okay damage, but it's genuinely not what we need right here. Like, if I were to do this fight, I would want someone like Heimdall to do it. The Incinerate resistance, then the countering the auto block effectively. I'm not doing myself any favors. I get hit. It's not very fun. I luckily get a parry off. I slow combo to try to stall it a bit. I get another parry. I get an SP2 off. I can't do the funny heavy charge. I see she's at SP2. If she throws that, I'm gone. I see my health ticking. I know what I have to do. I just have to... I have to get this SP1 burst off. I just have to. If it doesn't kill, I just die. Straight up. And luckily it does kill. Beta Ray Bill does a good amount of damage. Had a little mini heart attack. I was like, oh man. I'm not volunteering for myself again. That was really buns. Anywhere you can't power start 1 with Beta Ray Bill is really not fun if it's a champion like Ruby Thursday. But we prosper. The rest of the fights are going to be way easy. One of my secretly fun matchups with Beta Ray Bill is Yelena. Typically, you want to be bleed resistant against Yelena. Immunity is not going to help you out as much because she has that damage replacement. But we're going to be laughing here with Beta Ray Bill. 80% bleed resistance. The only thing that's going to hurt us is her impact through block. Taking a while to put my Maker pre-fights, but I always let them fall off before they ever matter meaningfully. I'm going to switch to the PS1 here. Beta Ray Bill loves Power Start 1. Faster you can reach SP2, the better, of course. And you're going to see that in this fight. It's going to be a pretty fast fight. I don't think it's faster than someone like Jean Grey or even Onslaught, but you can stretch Bill a lot farther than most give him credit for. I'm just hitting her block on this node so I can push her back farther. The more space I have to myself, the better. Never want to let yourself truly get cornered. I wanted her to throw the SP1 earlier so I could have a full 3-ramp Fury for my first SP1, but it didn't matter. I'm just going to get my SP2 off like normal. Take minimal damage because of Max Sig. Reduce your damage by 100% when you're unstoppable. It's super good. I get a Fury because of the Dr. Bong synergy, and we're laughing. The shocks are about to expire. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. I push myself to SP1. I let myself get hit on block. Bait out heavy. Use the unstoppable. 3 Furies. Boom. Observation. Caps the damage pretty hard. But one more SP1 and she dies. We're about to have Relic. Little combo. Parry. Medium. Relic. We can already trigger the shocks. Little medium to make sure it connects. And that is all she wrote. Very easy fight with Beta Ray Bill. The most common Yelena placement is node 20. And if you remember what I said for Rhino earlier, it'll actually be a very easy fight for Beta Ray Bill. You're just going to ramp so fast. Power Start 1, you basically get a free bar from the Power Drain node. You're going to be laughing. I've just cold-blooded one-shot Yelena on that node. I'm just spam tapping on Bill to really make sure I don't enter with the wrong champion. If you've entered a war fight with the wrong champion before, you know. But Solvarch versus Bill, this is one of Bill's best matchups. Even on one of Solvarch's most common spots, node 45, Bill's going to rinse him there. If you have a Wags pre-fight and you max out Coagulate like I do, you're just going to be pulverizing the armors. His regen off the shocks don't matter. You're just going to rinse him. I'm getting my SP2 off. I really don't care about the brute force / Bane damage. Getting my SP2 off like normal. I have the steady buff on Beta Ray Bill, which means I can't glance. We're having a great time. We're doing really good damage so far. I'm going to bait out a combo from him so I can get my Unstoppable Fury. I get it, and he's dead. He's dead just like that. Beta Ray Bill, really fun champion. That's going to be all for the first 2 wars. I don't plan to combine wars like this in the future. I only did so because I was traveling during War 1. But I hope to do more in the future, and I hope to have them better edited, better constructed, maybe some nice thumbnails, and maybe some more details on why I do the matchups and how, maybe to spread a little knowledge. But that'll be all for this war. Thank you for watching.